Okay, I gotta get my voice together for this one, y'all. Let me drink a little something. Y'all ready? Here we go. Hey, I'm Cara D. Thank you for coming to have Girl Talk with me on my podcast, I'm My Feelings. I'll be discussing things that'll have you reflecting, but also have you intrigued. Have a seat and let's start this healing journey together. And also remember, the growth never stops. Hey y'all, it's Cara. How are y'all doing? Thank you for coming back to my podcast on My Feelings. If you're new here, of course, welcome. Join the family. If you're returning, thank you for all the love and the support. So you guys, yeah, how y'all week looked? I'm gonna just tell y'all about mine. Mine was pretty okay. I can't, I'm not even going to sit up here and make it seem like, oh, it was it. Nope. It was pretty okay. So, just a little backstory. I went tailgating for the first time. And when I tell y'all, it was a whole vibe. Baby, listen. So, you know how, like, when you go tailgating, you'll see people out there with their tents or whatever, but like nothing too dramatic. No, baby. Listen, I went tailgating with my mom, her best friend, and her husband, my mom and her fiance, my stepdad, daughters came, me and my cousins came. Yes, I'm the only child, so yeah. But me and my cousins came, my cousins that's on my mom's side. And yeah, so we're out there. We actually we went tailgating at the Dolphin Stadium. I literally caught a brain fart. But yeah, we went tailgating at the Dolphin Stadium. And we had 2 trucks. We had 2 tents. We did not go into the game because, of course, there was a lot of us. But let me tell y'all about this setup. This setup it was such an experience. Like I told them, next time, I'm coming next time. So go ahead and put me in the books, put me down, let me know. I'm going to get my money and call it a day. So we had the whole little setup. We set up the tables. We had like a row of food, and like where the food was at, it was like a bar. We had of course, a liquor bar, but the bar was inside the truck. So we had the back of the trucks up. Mind you, keep in mind we have 2 trucks. So one of the trucks is holding the liquor bar. Then the food and stuff isn't up under the tent. Then you come over, we're up under the tent. All of our chairs are there, and our chairs is surrounded by another table. We got hookahs. Mind you, we have 4 hookahs going. 3 of them was regular, and then 1 of them was spiked. If you know, you know what I mean by spiked. So we're all sitting around the hookah table, and it's facing the other truck, which has the back open, and it's a TV there. And then it's a big speaker in between the 2 trucks. Now, on the opposite side of the truck that doesn't have the speaker, but that's holding the TV, like near the front of the truck, we have literally our own porta potty. It's not actually a porta potty, but we have our own bathroom. So we don't have to take a hitchhike to go to the bathroom. No, like our bathroom was literally right there at the front of the truck. So let me tell y'all how they did this. And oh my gosh, I was infatuated by the bathroom alone. So they have this long tent. I don't know exactly what it's called, but it's like a tent, but it's extremely long. It's not wide. It's like a little pencil tent. So inside of it, we have it's like a camping toilet that you put together. So in the camping toilet, you have a big black bag in it. And of course the seat, okay, so it's a round bottom. You put the big black bag in the round bottom. Then inside the black bag, you put kitty litter. We put kitty litter, and then the Clorox gel that you would put like in your toilet or in the tub. You drizzle some of that in there, and then also you have the toilet tablets that keeps the toilet fresh. Now, of course, kitty litter, it absorbs pee. You can pee in there all you want, but just don't poop in there, please. No. But so that's the toilet. Then of course, they have the actual seat with the lid. Now, in the same tent, like when it gets dark, they have a lantern for the light. So not outside of the tent, inside of the tent still. Mind you, the tent zips all the way down so you can close it. Nobody is looking at you. So they have a bucket there. We have tissue in the bucket. You have hand sanitizer in the bucket. You have antibacterial wipes inside the bucket. And also Lysol spray to disinfect every time you use it. Oh my God. When I tell y'all that our personal bathroom, it stayed fresh the whole entire time. Oh my gosh. And mind you, I was on a spike hookah. So it got to a point where I had to use the bathroom. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. That just, being dramatic. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. I'm talking to my cousins. And they was like, well, hi. I was like, I have to use the bathroom. So they were like, okay, we'll go to the bathroom. I said, I'm just going to do it, you guys. I'm just going to do it. Being dramatic. But like, yeah, when I got out the bathroom, I went back to them. I was like, oh my gosh, you guys, that was so freaking awesome. Like when I get on the hookah, I just get extremely dramatic. But oh my gosh, the vibe, like the experience, it was out of this world. That's how you tailgate. Oh my gosh. We stayed out there the whole game. We did watch the game out there. But yeah, of course, I mean, I'm not going to say of course, but the Dolphins did end up losing, unfortunately. But, it happens. It happens. But I would definitely say I would do that again. I would absolutely do that again. It was such a vibe. And I'm going to stand on that. I'm going to stand on it till the next time I go to another tailgating. That was a vibe within itself. The hookah's going. And of course, the liquor going. We got hella food. When you get hungry, just go and get your food. And then it was this one guy. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to just say it was just this one guy. I'm not going to put any race or anything into it. It was this one guy. He had to be under the influence. So I don't know what he was asking, but I guess he was asking about the food, like, can anybody get it? And it was like, no, or whatever. But mind you, I'm just going off of like their hand gestures and reading. I'm not going to say trying, and reading their lips, what I could get from the situation. So they was like, no. This man had the nerve to pull up one of the aluminum foils from off the pan to look inside. When I tell you, I wanted to throw my cup of liquor at him so bad. Because, like, you don't do that. Why? What in your right mind would even click and say, oh, well, let me just look inside of this. That's not even your food, sir. We don't even know you. Like, why are you looking in people's food? I was confused. But nevertheless, I digress. The experience was amazing. So if you ever have a chance to pretty much go tailgating, I would say absolutely tailgate. Like, please do it. So that's enough about my whole tailgating experience. I actually have a question. Have you ever dealt with a situation that you knew like all parties' feelings was like heavily involved in it, but it's just like you had an inner knowing of what needed to be done, like at the end of the day? Yes, no, maybe so. Well, if you do, if you have dealt with that before, that's where I am right now. So, backstory, story time. I have been seeing 222 a lot lately. Now, if you don't know what I mean by that, when you start seeing 222, it's pretty much a decision that needs to be made on your part. Now, keep in mind, this could be with anything. Only you would know like what you need to make a decision about, because of course everyone's situation is going to be different. But like, yeah, if you start seeing like the number 222 a lot like throughout your day, like you just so happen to look at your phone, it's 222. You just so happen to look at your phone again, or it could be like 1222, or you're driving down the road, you see 222, like that's how you know it's something in your life that a decision needs to be made on. But that's how I know. So with that being said, if you have been enjoying this week's episode of I Have My Feelings thus far and you would like to give the show some support, please click the link in the show notes below or consider leaving a review through Apple Podcasts. Now let's go ahead and get back to the show. I have been prolonging to make this decision like for a while. And of course, the longer you wait, the harder it's going to be. It's just like they say, the red flags that you ignore now will come and bite you in the ass later. That's pretty much, yeah. It's pretty much the same. So, I have been at a standstill pretty much on making the decision because I didn't want to hurt anyone's feelings, let alone mine. So I will try my best to avoid the situation at all costs. At all costs. If you know me, if you know, you know. I'm just gonna say that. So I'm just around here ignoring my intuition, trying to, just trying to keep things at bay. So I'm not forced to make a decision. But hey, now it gets to a point where I know how I can get when it comes to situations. I'm a softie at heart. I truly am. If I make a decision, like it 9 times out of 10, I am like it's going to be like an emotional storm that I go through about this certain situation or certain situations, period. I will go through an emotional storm about the whole thing, especially if I'm the one that is ending the whole ordeal. So yeah, because I do tend to come off nonchalant. But honestly, like I stated before, I'm actually a true softie. I will cry about almost anything. But the thing is, I will not allow you to see the fact that I'm crying. And I will try my best to hide the fact that I am actually either sad or hurt about the situation. But I guess that's why people don't believe me when I tell them like I'm an emotional person. Now, and now that I think about it, that's nothing but a defense mechanism. And honestly, I have to keep telling myself to get a handle on that, because it could quickly turn into like self-sabotage. Pretty much me being nonchalant. If y'all are anything like me, you'll understand me when I say I hate having to sit in my feelings. Sitting in my feelings now, it's a struggle. I'm getting better at it than before, but the fact that I have to reflect and really analyze the situation, yeah, when this come about, now I'm in my head, and that's one thing I cannot stand, and that is being in my head about anything. With that being said, that leads us into our topic. Are you going to nurture the situation, or are you going to leave it out in the cold? In my eyes, honestly, it all depends on where you are emotionally when it comes to that certain situation or whatever you're dealing with to truly determine like what direction you're going to take. If you do decide to go ahead and nurture the situation, of course, you're gonna have to reflect on what happened and what part you played in the whole encounter. Accountability is going to play a major role when it comes to you nurturing the situation. You have to honor the other person or the people who are all involved. You have to honor their feelings and honor where they stand instead of playing the victim role to get the upper hand when it comes to that certain situation. I have noticed when it comes to like love, like a romantic relationship, people or the person that have a problem with accountability, a lot of times they will use emotional manipulation to try to get the upper hand in the situation so it can go in their favor. But then it's going to be like pretty much you have to know your worth and where you stand in the whole situation. When the person or whoever you are involved with, when they do resort to emotional manipulation, I truly advise for you to call them out on it, because a lot of times people don't realize that they are actually doing that. All they think about is they try to make you feel bad or feel guilty in said situation. But I feel like call them out on it, and I call them out on it every single time so they could become aware of what they are doing. Then it gets to a point where they are aware of what they are doing. It all depends on you on how you're going to handle the situation. Now, do you keep on nurturing the situation, or do you just go ahead, cut your losses where you are, and go on about your business? So we're going to go ahead and move to, if you're going to decide to leave the whole ordeal out in the cold. When you leave things out in the cold, when relationships, romantic relationships, situationships, whatever you are dealing with, I feel like at least give that person grace, and also the communicate with them on why you're feeling the way that you're feeling, what you're going to do, so nothing is left like up in the air. That person know exactly where you stand when it comes to that situation, why you're doing what you are doing, and why you decided to go ahead and cut that whole thing off. And a lot of times it really don't be healthy for us, but it's just like we don't know how to communicate that. I say it all the time. Communication is key. Yep, it's easier said than done. And I have even found, like, when I am talking to like my guy friends, they tell me straight up, I have to be straight up blunt with you. And I say, and I thank you for that. I don't need for you to try to gaslight me. I don't need for you to tiptoe around my feelings. Say what you need to say, because guess what? At the end of the day, I'm going to say what I need to say. And then we're going to come to a common ground on what we think should happen. And then we go on about our business. So if you decide to go ahead, no more communication, don't come over here no more. Like, I think I'm just going to go ahead and go down a different path. Say that. Say that. Yep, it may hurt somebody's feelings. It's not what you say, it is how you say it. Like I said in my first episode, my mama have always told me that, and that is true. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. But trust and believe, whoever feelings are deeply involved the most in that whole situation, of course, you may get backlash from it, or you may get pushback from that person. But stick to your guns and stand your ground. Because you're feeling this way for a reason, and God is making you uncomfortable for a reason, because it may be just time for you to move along. It may be time for you to shift without that person there in your life. And a lot of times when you leave people out in the cold, you will see that your life really start flourishing the way that it needs to and the way that you want it to. And let's go ahead and move right along to our self-care. So what I implemented into my self-care routine this past week, started meditating a little bit more, and I'm going to try to meditate a lot more, at least once a day. Last week it wasn't as consistent, but I was trying. But this week I'm going to go ahead and implement it a lot more, at least once a day, because I have noticed when I do meditate at least once a day, I'm not as anxious. I don't get upset, or I don't get in my feelings as fast. And like when a conflict arises, I can't talk. When a conflict arises, I'm not so headstrong and hostile in that conflict. I just kind of brush it off. I be calm. Like, yeah. So we're going to go ahead and try to, put in, meditate a lot more this week. Now, before we wrap it up, I have 2 songs. I have 2 songs for the week. The first song is If You Let Me by Sneyd Harnett. It's an older song. This song may be like 7 years old, but I just started listening to it last year or the year before last. But it's just like I stopped listening to it. Like, I wasn't hearing it as often. I'm not going to say I stopped listening to it, because that'd be a lie if I say I stopped listening to it. But I wasn't hearing it as often. But with the this past conflict, it was a conflict. This past conflict, and like the conversation, like how the whole thing went down. It's like this song just speaks volumes, especially when it comes to the person that I end up ending things with. And it's just like the way that he acts, how and what he says, and like how things are done on his part that literally screams this song is pretty much like how he's feeling. So, I mean, I could kind of feel, I don't know if it's just me, but like when I'm listening to songs, like if I just go on Pandora, Spotify, or my Apple Music or Amazon Music, and I'm just listening to songs, and you know how like it just kind of shuffles? Like a certain song will come on, and I don't know if it's just me, but I could kind of like feel, oh, well, damn, this how such and such feels about me. I guess it's just me. I don't know. But yeah, that was the first song, If You Let Me. Now, the second song is by Doja Cat. It is Paint the Town Red. Now, after everything was said and done with the situation, what I was just talking about, I went ahead and I meditated. Like I stated, I was trying to meditate more often this week. Well, I was, implementing meditating a lot more this week, last week. But I went ahead and meditated, and in meditation, all I was getting is put your full focus like on your projects to get to where you want to be, and don't worry about like a relationship as of right now. Now, the part of the song that stuck out the most to me was, bitch, I said what I said. I'd rather be famous than dead. And then, of course, it's like within that chorus, you can hear in the background, walk on by. Walk on by. Now, what I got from that, why I feel like the reason why that part stuck out to me was pretty much I said what I said about the whole situation. And it's just like by me focusing, it I feel like it ties in with my meditation session. by within my meditation session, it's just like focus on what you got going on, focus on your projects. That I'd rather be famous instead. It's just like I'm not worried about no relationship. I'd rather just go ahead and be famous and work on this podcast and work on my other projects than working on a relationship. So, like, yeah, that's just me. That's just how I feel. Judge your mama, don't judge me. But it is what it is. But I'm gonna go ahead and leave y'all right here. And I hope to see y'all in my next episode on my podcast. And y'all have a good one. Love y'all.